The game begins inside a small wooden cabin. I am a young boy named Toby who wants to go play outside and build a snowman. Cheerful music is playing, and so I began building the snowman by rolling my first ball of snow. Once it was big enough, I rolled my second ball of snow, and then the third ball of snow for the head. I then put them together to build the body, but a snowman needs decoration. So I went around the cabin to grab a carrot for a nose. On the other side of the cabin were rocks that I used to make the eyes, smile, and the buttons for the snowman. I searched inside the cabin for more decorations. One was a nice top hat which I gently placed on his head, and the next was a lovely red scarf to keep his neck warm. But now to the most important piece. The heart. I went back inside the cabin and grabbed a mysterious rock from my room. I could hear the rock whispering to me, so I placed it in front of the snowman, where the glyphs started flowing into the snowman, and I could have sworn I heard whispers and a monstrous roar for a moment. But no time to think about that. It was time for me to find some arms. I went into Grandpa's tool shed to see if I could find anything to use as arms, but couldn't find anything. When I stepped back outside, the snowman was gone. I then saw the snowman was somehow at the porch of the cabin staring into the window. When I approached it, Mother thought I had built the snowman there. I then asked the snowman if he was alive, in which the snowman slowly turned his head at me in silence. I now found myself in the perspective of Toby's mother, Martha, who was looking out the window at the snowman. I was concerned about Toby being out in the snow for long, so I went out to bring him inside. But when I looked out the front door, the snowman was no longer outside. I saw a trail in the snow leading to a hole in the ground, but I decided to check inside for Toby. Stepping inside, the snowman was in the corner of the room. I continued to Toby's room, but looking back to make sure the snowman was still there. I recalled that there was a loft behind the bookshelf. Looking back at the door I came from, the snowman was now there. When I approached it, darkness enveloped the snowman, and all I could see was its bright white eyes peering into my soul right before the door slammed shut on it. The bookshelf now revealed a tunnel leading down. Along the way, I found a tape recorder from Dad. It was a message telling me that there is an ongoing millennia-long war. Going into the tunnel, I found myself in an underground cavern with paintings on the wall telling a story how something fell from the sky and onto Earth, and something came out of the crater it made. The tape recorders left by Dad told of an ancient creature called the One's Thas now, which means he who carries the cold. It began eating the planet and freezing the landscape. This was essentially the Ice Age. Going further down, I see a cave painting of what I assume is the creature. It had a slim body, hollow eyes, and horns. The next tape recorder details how shamans would trap the creature's essence into a magical rock to separate it from its body, and in turn became the snow. Going down the next hallway, all I could see is darkness, but then a light appeared, creating a silhouette of a snowman. As I slowly approached it, the snowman then sprouted long arms to carry itself towards me. Right before it reached me, the ground I was standing on began to descend. I was saved by a lift. But as it took me down, I felt a sudden jolt in the lift, and then the lift began crashing down at high speeds. Somehow I survived, and the tape recorder from Dad said how I must now trap the beast, for I am now the shaman. But in order to trap the creature in the rock again, I had to help it gain power by reuniting it with its body. I was able to create 4 snowballs and put them under the red arrow in the room, so I began rolling the first snowball and brought it underneath the red arrow. I proceeded with the second snowball, but once I got the snowball there, the snowman was now under the red arrow. I was wary that the snowman would do something, but I had to roll the third ball. Once I got the third ball under, the snowman changed to reveal a large sinister smile and white glowing eyes, the same ones that were peering into me earlier. I needed to bring the 4th snowball, so I did just that. The snowman wasn't under the red arrow anymore. It instead appeared to my right and started melting down when I noticed it. The door to the next room opened. Upon entering the room, the creature came up from the pile of snow in front of me and began to taunt me and my ancestors' foolish ways. It then grabbed me and tossed me down the cavern shaft. These tunnels just led to dead ends, and the creature was close to catching me, but I managed to escape the creature down a secret shaft. But in the end, it still caught up to me. It gave me a choice to join it, but I wasn't about to make that decision. Toby then dropped the rock down so I can use it to trap the creature, but the creature didn't care. It knew it will come again next year, and it knew that each time I saw snow, I would be reminded of the creature and the fear it gave. It ended with these final words: "Merry Christmas. See you next year."